Welcome to the Queen Amani Show, all the way from the Queen City. Here she is, Queen Amani.
Welcome to the Queen Amani Show, all the way from the Queen City, all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you, and thank you for joining me here today at the castle. I hope that you were able to tune in to our last show and join me here at the castle. And if you didn't and you missed us, just a little bit about me. I am Queen Amani from Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a queen, and I love the city of Charlotte. It is such a beautiful city, and it's such a blessing to be living here. You know, Charlotte has so much to offer, and I love sports. My favorite sports teams are the Panthers. And yes, I love Cam Newton. I'm a little bit sad that the Panthers traded Steve Smith. I haven't quite gotten over that yet, but I am still a Panthers fan. You know, we have the Checkers, and I love hockey. And actually, my son plays ice hockey, so it's great to be able to have a professional team here. You know, we have a beautiful brand new stadium that just got put in downtown, and that's where the Knights play. And I can't wait to go see the Knights and just enjoy an outdoor baseball game this summer. You know, and we have other professional teams. I cannot forget the Charlotte Hornets. I love basketball. But just a little bit about me. I wear my fabulous crowns because I love to. I am a queen, and what's a queen without a crown, honey? You know, and I love to be able to have great fabulous people that are doing great things around the city. Come on the Queen Amani Show and join me at the castle. So today we have one of the most brilliant, smartest, handsome, most educated men that I know joining us here today at the castle, and I feel so honored to have him. So sit back and relax and get to know all about our guest today, Mr. Tyrone Miller. Thank you for coming to the castle today and joining us on the Queen Amani Show. So, Mr. Miller, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, first I'd like to thank you for inviting me to the castle. Been a lot of places in my life, but never had an opportunity to hang out in the castle, so I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're most welcome, and you're always invited to come back.
And I appreciate you saying I'm good looking. That meant a lot.
Oh, you're very handsome, very much so.
Well, just a little bit about me. I'm a Charlottean, graduated from Garinger Senior High back in 1984. Hate to say that because it makes me sound like I'm getting older, right? But I did. And upon graduating from high school, ended up going off to the military.
Awesome.
And went off to the United States Air Force, spent some time in the military, and then came back home and ended up going to Central Piedmont Community College. A little bit about my childhood. I think one of the things that, and I'll just say this to your guests, that's very important. I grew up in a neighborhood that most of the kids that I grew up with didn't come out of that neighborhood. A lot of them they're deceased now, and many of them end up incarcerated. Yes. So being a college graduate, which having the opportunity to go to college was something that really we didn't have a lot of people in the community that I grew up in Greer Heights that went off to college. So. Yes. It was very important for me to find a way, and one of the things I'll say that was very difficult in my life is that I wasn't the star student in high school, but I was the guy that persevered. So when I went off to Central Piedmont Community College, worked really hard because the school I always wanted to go to, my dream school, was the U.
Oh, yes. What's the U?
The U is the University of Miami.
Oh, okay.
I had always had dreams and aspirations of going to the University of Miami. Had a scholarship to go to North Carolina State, turned it down. I wanted to go to the University of Miami. So anyway, long story short, ended up going off to the University of Miami, spent 4 years at the University of Miami, got a chance to meet so many wonderful people. Went there with The Rock and Irving.
The Rock?
Yeah, you're talking about sports. Yeah, I had a chance to hang up with The Rock and Irving. And Warren
that's
Sapp.
Awesome. Oh, I love him. Yes.
Yeah. So after 4 years of being at the University of Miami, I graduated from the University of Miami in 1992 and thought I was going off to law school. Never made it to law school. Ended up finding my way in a classroom teaching at-risk high school kids back in 1982.
Yes.
And said I'd do it for a couple years. Ended up staying in that particular high school for over 10 years. And at the same time, I had an opportunity to go back to college, and I received my master's degree from Nova Southeastern University.
Awesome.
About 10 years ago, made the decision to move back to Charlotte. Ended up moving back to Charlotte over 10 years ago. Ended up starting 2 organizations, the Unique Caring Foundation and the Family Institute for Health and Human Services. While in the process of starting those organizations, because I love kids so much, end up becoming a high school teacher, end up working in several Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, one being West Charlotte High School. I ran a program over at the Sheriff's Office for at-risk youth, was over at the Right Alternative for a while, and over at Midwood. So I've worked a lot with at-risk youth, and so that led me, of course, in the organizations that I have now, which is the Unique Caring Network and Project Cares.
And that is so awesome how you have just taught our youth, and you have taught all over. And I heard that you received an award, a very big award in the CMS school system. You were Teacher of the Year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I've done a lot in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. My passion, and I say to anybody out there in the listening audience, that, you know, you have to find your passion in life. My passion has always been kids. I went to West Charlotte Senior High when it was a failing school. I'm a social studies teacher. I love history. And I think that we had some of the worst scores in the district. And it was a team of 4 of us that came together and set our differences aside and was able to make West Charlotte Senior High School, not only did we have the best test scores in Mecklenburg County, one year we had the best test scores in the state.
Oh, wow.
And so I did end up receiving the Teacher of the Year award at West Charlotte, and Irreplaceable Teacher Award, Who's Who Among American High School Teacher, the Crystal Apple Award. So I've done a lot to really impact the lives of, really, I did the calculations before I got on your show. I've worked with over 6,000 youth since I've been out of college in 1992.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And, you know, I just thank God, the good Lord, for men like you. And there needs to be more men like you, where, you know, you're passionate about helping our youth. And, you know, our youth is the key to our future. And so I just thank you for all of your service and your hard work that you have given all the students that you have helped. So I want to talk a little bit about the organizations that you started and that you're the director of, the Unique Caring Foundation. If you can tell me a little bit more about the Unique Caring Foundation.
Yes, the Unique Caring Foundation is a foster care agency. We started that agency back in 2004. One of the things I think is important to note is that we have in Mecklenburg County right now hundreds of kids that don't have homes.
Yes.
We have hundreds of kids right now that are awaiting placement in foster care. Every year throughout the United States, we're talking about 640,000 kids end up in the system. When I say the system, end up in foster care. And what I say is that the face of homelessness now is our kids. And so one of the things that, you know, I'm personally committed to is kids. And so the Unique Caring Foundation was about finding loving homes and therapeutic homes for kids that don't have placement. And so our agency currently provides family and therapeutic foster care for kids that, and most of the kids that we're working with are between the ages of, well, it can go anywhere from 0 to 21, but a lot of the kids that we work with are usually normally between the ages of 12 and 18. And these are kids that have had a very interesting life, to say the least. They're victims of abuse and neglect. And what we do is we train foster parents to become therapeutic foster parents to provide homes for these kids until they are reunified with their biological families.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And in many cases, many times, they're not reunified. And so what happens with those kids a lot of times is they end up becoming becoming adopted.
Right, and that was one thing I wanted to know is what happens when a child needs to be put in foster care, but they're not able to receive a good, loving home. You know, what happens to them then?
That's $1 million question. You know, one of the things that, and before I answer that question, what North Carolina needs, what the United States needs, what kids needs, is good homes.
Yes.
What we find is that the process of becoming a foster parent is a very lengthy process. And so what we end up with is so many kids, in the scenario you gave, so many kids that don't have homes because we don't have placements.
Right.
So right now, for example, in my agency alone, and there are several agencies here in Mecklenburg County that provide the same service as myself, and we all run into the same problems. We have kids, but we can't find homes. And a lot of times when you talk to professional people,
Yes.
A lot of what they think is that foster care is for somebody else. The teachers and the doctors and the lawyers
Right.
always want to tell you about friends that they have. What my thing is that if we can find good homes to put these kids in, I think that is the reason and the key for us not having
Yes.
kids in placement.
So now what if someone wants to become a foster care parent? What steps do they need to take, or how can they contact your agency if they're looking at the show and they know that they have a loving home and they would like to become a foster care parent? What can they do?
I think one of the best thing to do with our agency is just log on our website, uniquecaringfoundation.com. Also, Cardinal Innovations is the MCO. We call it the Managed Care Organization here in Meck County. They have a list of therapeutic and family foster care agencies. They can contact the Department of Social Services that have a list of agencies. So the first thing is you have to have an agency to work with. Unique Caring Foundation, like I said, is one of those agencies.
Okay, and what did you say your website was again? Just so we can make sure that we get that.
Sure. www.uniquecaringfoundation.com, and that's UNIQUE, caring, CARING, foundation.com. So
Awesome.
They can log in. And on our site, there are a lot of links. One link is how to become a foster parent.
Awesome. So now can you tell me about the other organization that you're the director of, Project Cares?
Yes, Project Cares is my baby as well. Project Cares really was a vision that I had while being in the school system. Caring adults really equals success. One of the things that I saw was the need to work with kids that were not doing well in school. A lot of our kids, many of our kids, are dropping out of school. Many of our kids are dropping out of school because the educational deficits that they have just makes them say, I give up, I quit, I can't do this anymore.
And that's so sad. And it breaks my heart because education is the key. And, you know, what are our children and our youth to do without a good education? So, you know, we're saying Project Cares helps children while they're in school?
Yes. One of the things, the main focus of Project Cares, we have three main goals. One is really homework assistance. What we find is that a lot of our kids, when they're getting out of school, a lot of the parents don't have the skill sets with 21st century learning now to help a lot of our kids. So we have educated, our educators, most of our staff are educators. They're licensed teachers, and so we take them through a training process, and they're able to work with our kids on their math. Our main focus is math and English. And so they're working with our youth to ensure that they're doing well in school as far as their homework is concerned. The other thing that we're looking to do is to prepare our kids on the EOC and EOGs. Project Cares is in 4 sites right now. We're over at West Charlotte Senior High. We're in one of the Project Lift schools, Statesville Road Elementary, and Coolwood Middle. And so when I say EOCs and EOGs, some of our elementary and middle school kids are taking end of the grade, and our high school kids are taking end of the course exam. So one of the things that we're trying to prepare our kids for is the end of the grade tests and the end of the course tests.
Oh, that's awesome.
So our teachers spend about an hour each day working on that. And the last part is really about our enrichment piece and or college or career readiness. So we spend the last hour of Project Cares working with our kids on some of our high school kids, for example, want jobs. So we have an entrepreneurial program.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Where we help our young high school kids to start businesses. And then we have a microloan at the end of that program where the kids can get a $5,000 microloan.
Yes.
And then we have other projects. So each one of our sites really are catering to our kids with the last hour.
Yes.
With enrichment and or opportunities.
Well, that's wonderful. You know, you provide such great opportunities for the youth. I am just blown away by all the amazing opportunities and the different services that you have created. If someone wanted to be a part of the Project Cares, how could they get information on that?
Right. Well, Project Cares is, if they log on our website, www.projectcares.com, there's a lot of interesting resources out there. One of the things that we've done with the Project Care website is that we put resources for families that may not necessarily be able to attend one of our sites. So our sites, again, is West Charlotte High School, Project Lift High School, which is off of West Boulevard. We had Statesville Road Elementary and Coolwood. But we serve 160 kids a day at those sites. But we realize that we have so many people that want to join, but not everyone is able to attend. Because if you're not attending one of those schools, then you're not able to join. So what we've done is we provided Project Care Experience Online. So it doesn't matter who you are out there. If you have a kid that needs assistance, educational assistance and tutoring, we have many resources online available for families if they log on to our site.
So you mean any student that is in need of any form of tutoring, they can log onto your website and get the information and possibly be involved in Project Cares?
Yes, we have and when they go on there, there's a link. It's a live binder link that provides free homework assistance, activities, EOG, EOC test preparations for families, kids as well. There's a lot of resources for families and kids. So I think that when you log onto that site, what you'll find is that there's a section on there for the kids. There's also a resource section on there for parents. So for example, a lot of our kids' parents in need of food and educational assistance and housing and clothing. So there's a link on there that says community resources. So what we've developed is a directory.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, we've developed a 12-page directory for our families of kids that are in Project Cares or not, that can utilize the services that we have available online. So it's very important. It's a lot to explain in this kind of venue, but I think probably the best thing for folk that are out there that are interested is just log on Project Cares and just maneuver around the site. They can also, it also has our phone number and contact information. My information is available. So it's a site that's full of resources.
And I hear that you offer so many valuable resources to our city, and I am just so happy that I know a man like you that have put together such phenomenal resources and that are available. So I just want to make sure that I, just to kind of recap and understand everything that you provide, if a person wants to become a foster parent, they can log on to the website, the Unique Caring Foundation.com, and get that information. And there are also other services there that you provide with the foster care.
Yes. Well, I didn't mention this, but I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
I'm excited you did. One of the things, and this is not just for agencies that have kids in foster care, well, any agency that have kids in foster care that's looking for after-school services for their kids, I encourage them to log on our website and get in contact with me, because we're able to assist them with being able to provide this service for their kids in our Saturday program. So we open up a program on Saturday for our kids, for kids that are in foster care. So one of the things that Project Cares will eventually be able to support is not just those 4 sites that we mentioned, and not just kids that are in Project Cares, but we're wanting to open up Project Cares to be able to work with other agencies that have kids that need educational assistance. We're going to be able to enroll them in our Saturday program, and we have a site that we're opening up on Saturdays. So this is going to be exciting for other provider agencies.
That's awesome.
Family members that are out there that have kids that you don't know what to do with them on Saturday and they're behind in school. That site is going to be a site to service the needs of kids.
Oh, that is so wonderful, Mr. Miller. I am just so moved. You know, you are so passionate, you know, with all these great resources that you have put together and that you're providing to the city of Charlotte. You know, what makes you so passionate about what you do and just helping, you know, so many people? You know, where does that passion come from?
Well, you know, that's a question I could say I probably never really had asked of me. I think my 22 years in education and the 10 years, you know, working in the mental health field, along with being an educator at some point in times during the course of my career, I think really came from my own childhood experiences. You know, I came out of a community, like I mentioned before, Greer Heights, where there wasn't a high level of expectation for young black men to succeed. And I really can't say that I know any of my friends that graduated from college, that lived in my community. But I was determined. And I think one of the things that really, I think, helped and inspired me is faith. You know, I've always been a guy that believed through faith all things are possible, you know. And so I just had this wild dream one day that I could go to college with no money.
No money?
No money.
Well, how did you go to college with no money? Because
faith.
College is so faith.
Faith.
Wow.
I just
amazing.
I faith. I came out of high school, went to the military, came back, and realized there was some more work that I can do to get my grades up, and so I did that. And so I encourage, you know, young folk that are out there that don't give up. You know, if you have faith, anything's possible. But so I worked really hard at Central Piedmont Community College and got a shot at going to the University of Miami. But I think my passion comes from my childhood, and I was the first of 14 siblings to graduate from college.
Wow.
So it wasn't, not only did I not know anyone from my community, I had no experience of anybody in my family, not even the siblings, but I'm talking about aunts and uncles. I was one of the first people in my family to graduate from college. And so
that's amazing.
You know,
good for you. Good for you. And you're such a great role model, you know, to have done all these things. And, you know, I hear you even say just being determined and not giving up and having faith. It's just such a great example, you know, for our youth, for our young men and women that are out there. You know, they can actually, you know, look at you, and I hope that they're joining us today and watching this show and, you know, watching us sit here in the castle and just really listen at, you know, how you have succeeded and the things that you're doing to give back.
And one of the things I want to speak directly to my young people now, because I think, you know, the folk that's made it, we've made it, and I get a chance to wear an executive director hat in these two organizations, and I've been an educator for 22 years. And
well, you know what? I would love for you to speak to our young men and our women.
And I want to just share a brief story. You know, one of the things, and I've never said this, but I'm going to say it now. When I came out of Garinger High School, young folk, I came out with a 2.0 GPA.
Wow.
And I think it's important you hear this here. And I'm putting myself out there right now. And had a chance to go to North Carolina State on a track scholarship.
Wow.
But I didn't say this, but I want to say it now to my young folk. It couldn't go because of Proposition 48 or 49, where I needed a 2.0 and an SAT score. I didn't have what I needed. But what I realized is that and I said this about faith before, you know, having faith and the determination in a dream, you know, you can make it. You know, I end up going to one of the most toughest schools to get into in the country at the time, University of Miami. The mean SAT score when I came in was over 1,500, and the kids that came in there had over 3.7 GPA. And I went to Central Piedmont and got my grades up to almost a 4.0. Was that a 3.9 something? And I worked really hard, graduated, went back to grad school, not only once. I said Nova Southeastern University, but I'm so passionate about education, I'm in the process of finishing another degree. So young people, I can tell you, no matter what your life circumstances are, just don't ever quit. You know, don't ever give up. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't make it, because you can. And I'm an example of that.
Yes.
I'm just a little old kid from Greer Heights.
That made it.
That had an opportunity through education to have done a lot. And currently, and I'll say this here, currently, we've been able to create these 2 organizations. We employ now over 70 people throughout Charlotte.
That's wonderful. And
I think that's an awesome testimony of how, no matter where you come from and whatever your life circumstances are, you can still make it.
That is so wonderful, and I am so glad that you got to share that with our young men and young women, that I hope that are watching this show, because that is just so valuable, and even hearing you speak of faith and determination, I just have to know, what church do you go to? Because I know that you go to a great church. I just hear it coming out of you.
Well, wow, I love it. The church that I attend is called Faith Destiny Ministries, and it takes faith to get to your destiny, and that's really the whole vision behind the ministry, and I'm just a man of faith. And for you guys that don't know what that means, it's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things yet not seen, and that's what it's going to take for any of us to succeed.
Faith.
We have to have it we have to have it to get to our destiny. And so I can just say that, that's my church, and it just it's becoming of who I am. I'm walking in my destiny now because of my faith. So Unique Caring Foundation really was my destiny. Project Cares, caring adults really equals success, was my destiny. But I got there by faith. And so I'm so excited now that my life has come full circle.
Yes.
So my ministry and the church I attend really is a reflection of the life I've lived.
Yes. So being that you have strong faith and you are a man of faith, and we know that faith is not seen, it's the things that are hoped for. What do you see for Project Cares and for Unique Caring Foundation in the future?
Well, what I would like is, some of the viewers that are watching us now to log on our website and become foster parents. I mean, that's really my vision, is to expand foster care into other counties. Right now, currently, we are positioned to be able to provide foster care in 22 counties. And so that's what the Unique Caring Foundation with Project Care is really being able to offer educational services on Saturdays, which is a program that we're in the process of starting, and then looking in the future at maybe expanding Project Cares to some other counties.
Well, that's wonderful, and I hope that many of our viewers do tune in, and if they would like more information, go to your website, Unique Caring Foundation. And I would also just like to say a prayer. I always love to end in prayer. So, dear Lord, thank you for this fabulous day, and this day to spend with such a great man, a man of faith, God, a man that's doing great things in our city and making wonderful things happen in the lives of children, Lord. Continue to bless his life so he can do more, God, and continue to bless the Queen Amani Show so that we can just, allow great things to manifest on this show and in our city, God. We thank you for your abundance. We thank you for your great health and everything you bless our lives with, God. We just thank you for being first and foremost in our lives, Lord. And I ask that you bless our viewers too, God. Bless them. Bless everyone today, God, and continue to bless us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Tune in to the Queen Amani Show, and thank you for tuning in today and joining us at the castle. See you next time.